it is Nate Mumford, Director of Sales Engineering here at RCS, once again broadcasting live from John Oliver's favorite place, Danbury, Connecticut. I got to tell you, if you haven't seen that video, you really got to, because that's kind of my hometown, and John Oliver from Last Week Tonight's making fun of it, and it's delightful. Absolutely love it. So, how's it going? How's your week been? It's a, yes, thank you, Di. I have a COVID haircut. I got that done yesterday. Yes, thank you very much for noticing. And thank you for checking in. As always, it is a Thursday, 11 a.m. Eastern Time. That means it's time for RCS Live. As you know, we have open questions and answers. Whatever you want to talk about, let me know. We'll go ahead and talk about that here. And on top of that, today we're going to talk about Zetta Cloud-based disaster recovery. I'm just loading my phone here so I can see my comments in live and real time. And so again, this kind of sparked a couple conversations. We noticed that obviously we had a couple natural disasters going on here between the hurricanes and tornadoes and unfortunately all of that disaster. And so we just thought, and there's a couple examples of cryptoware in the mix as well, that we just thought, hey, you know what? It's a very good time to essentially go and talk about and revisit Zetta Cloud-based disaster recovery. I'm going to hide this right here. This is my screen you're seeing here. This is my Zetta 5.20.1, which should be released very shortly in a couple weeks if you want to get the latest and greatest. And we're going to talk about some server-side search and talk about sort of the dark mode, all those really cool things. If you want to be a beta user for that, by the way, you totally can. All I got to do is just, ping your sales rep, support, me, whomever, and we'll get you on that beta list for users. It's really cool stuff. So if you want to get on that beta list, just let us know. We'll get you in the right direction. A couple other housekeeping things. Working from home. If you're like me and you're working from home, we want to see your setup and give you some goodies for sending us a screenshot or a picture of all of your stuff. So if you want, you can direct message us. You can email us live@rcsworks.com, your choice. We'd love to see your setup, how you're working from home. In addition to that, we'll also send you some goodies as well. And then finally from there, we have the FTS portal is alive and running as well. So if you're looking to install Zetta, we have that running for you as well. So that's going to be in there. I'm going to load this up here. Perfect. Awesome. If you have any questions, any comments, comment below. I will answer them live in real time. So let's dive right into it for today, talking about Zetta Cloud-based disaster recovery, okay? Here's the idea. So this is my setup here, right? This is essentially my local Zetta. I have this in the rack room. Of course, as you know, Zetta has a detached play button. So whenever you have any kind of machine, it's going to reference that sequencer in the studio itself. Very similar in nature, we use site replication, right? Remember, site replication is essentially the way of having two sites, two markets, share the data. It's kind of like a poll, if you will, to have both sites completely in sync. We have a lot of clients that like to have, they move around from market to market and they want to have the same exact setup in every single market. Or if they just want to have, information they share, they can do that as well. And if you want, of course, have, let's say, Zcast is more of a push. So very simply put, it's because I was just writing this article for Radio World. I thought I would just throw this in there for you. Think of site rep as a we activity, right? It's a we. We are sharing audio. We are in sync with metadata. Whereas Zcast is I'm market A, you're market B. I want you to have this audio, so I'm going to push that audio to you. So in the world of Zetta Cloud-based disaster recovery, we're talking about essentially a we thing, right? So instead of having left and right, markets adjacent, we're talking about above, right? The cloud itself. So we're talking about your local Zetta market and then site repping to the cloud. And that means everything. That's like log changes, that's brand new audio, all of that good stuff is going to replicate to the cloud itself. So just very briefly, just to review here that process. Your audio, your metadata, your log changes, your SQL backups are all sent to essentially Zetta Cloud, right? Via site rep, and Zetta Cloud, of course, is written on Amazon Web Services following best practices and securities. It's not a VM in the cloud. It truly is radio automation for the cloud. So at that point in time, we're just running kind of as is. You're not really worrying about it, so to speak. right? You already have your configurations done. Everything's in there in the cloud. And essentially your Zetta cloud is going to just be kind of sitting there, right? So this is my Zetta cloud. I have my RCS hot AC. Now I'm kind of treating this right now as essentially a Zetta cloud automation versus Zetta cloud disaster recovery. So I'm going to stop my sequencer here. And what you'll see is this environment is just sitting in just waiting. As I said, any new audio, any log changes, it's going to be replicated to Zetta Cloud. And the idea here is that Zetta Cloud is sitting, waiting, idle for you. You might notice, by the way, it's a URL, us.zettacloud.com. That's going to give you an Okta username and password via email. So next level authentication, including two-step authentication with Okta. So that's in the mix as well. And of course, at this point in time, it really is just sitting here. That's the idea. Zetta Cloud is just sitting here in disaster recovery mode. So I'm going to jump back to my Zetta over here. And let's just talk about some kind of quick things. I'm going to pick, let's say, 1 o'clock for right now, because as I said, I was kind of running it in real time. I want to show you these log changes and how it works. Very, very simply put, I'll take this Lifehouse song, for example, drag it to the very, very top, right? And you'll notice that this right here is my site replication manager. And I wish I had this open because I'm going to show you, but I'll go back to it in a second. I want to show you live in real time what I'm talking about here. But if I jump back to my Zetta Cloud, you'll see that if I jump to, 1 o'clock I said? You'll see that Lifehouse is going to be coming back to the top of the hour. Now, give me a couple seconds here because I'm running both my broadcast software, Facebook, and a connect section to my other machine and Zetta Cloud itself. So Zoom likes to take a little time here. But you'll see there's my Lifehouse between the raindrops at the very first song, right? So what I'm going to do here is show you some changes, show you what happens live in real time. I'm going to go ahead here, and this on the right-hand side is my library module. I thought it's a great time to talk about essentially our server-side search. That's brand new to 5.20.1. You'll see here it says enter your search criteria. Very simply put, it's going to be, I can do title and artist. So I can do raindrop and life, and this should pull up raindrops and Lifehouse. Think of this as very simply put, a Google search of your library, which is important because if you're a huge database and you have thousands and thousands of songs, you have to load all of that metadata up. And sometimes, depending on your library, it could be you're talking 10,000 plus elements that are being loaded. We just want better performance out of our Zetta system. And to be honest, we don't really need to load that at certain times. You don't have to. So we have the kind of server-side search. And by the way, that's done at configuration and system. And then it's going to be under your asset types. You can see here, there's a search method. There's now server-side or client-side search. And then I have the option too to switch between and toggle between both. You can see this is both. Every single asset can be customized here with that server-side search, of course, brand new to 5.20.1. If I don't want this, I just close it, and we're good to go. On the flip side, there's my advanced feature here, my little gear. That's where I have my server-side search versus my client-side search. So you can see there's all my audio. That's where all my library is. It didn't disappear. It's still there live in real time. And it's a really cool feature if you have a huge database. I just want to say check in to Luigi. Thank you for checking in as well. Neil, thank you for checking in. If you guys have any comments or questions here, feel free to comment below. I'll go ahead and answer your questions for you live in real time, especially regarding Zetta Cloud and Zetta Cloud-based disaster recovery. So server-side search, let's go ahead and add a brand new asset, right? So add new media. I'm just going to go here to show you some multiple ways we can drag and drop, or I can go to my Windows browse. I have a little song here, drag it in. It's just Death Cab for Cutie. If you notice here, I have ID3 tags in here. It does its marks analysis, so it's going to give me the intro times, the segue, the trim in, the trim out. Cool stuff. So I'm going to do Gold Rush Zetta Cloud, and artist will be Death Cab for Cutie, who's already in my system. So I'm going to load the previous artist because that value is already in my system. And I'm going to go ahead here. I'm going to save this asset, right? As I save this asset, it's going to be imported. I want to show you this site replication manager. So see that due to run now? That's what's going on here. It's preparing the site rep to go ahead and add Gold Rush ZZ, which is Zetta Cloud. and this is being inserted as we speak. So I want to show you live in real time what's happening here. This song is getting saved, my local Zetta database. At that point in time, Zetta, via Site Replication Manager, is telling it that, hey, we have to go and upload that, which is what it's doing right now, to the cloud. And we're going to take this Gold Rush ZC, load it to the cloud. You'll see it's all completed on here. At that point in time, I'm going to jump back to my Zetta cloud, and you'll see there is the Gold Rush ZC right there in my library itself. See that? Of course, if I go here, double click this, this should look familiar for your Zetta cloud users. Remember, just like Zetta to go, at this point in time, I'm using my Chrome. Again, Zetta Cloud is not an app. You're not downloading it anywhere. Again, us.zettacloud.com has its own login authentication with Okta. I'm accessing this, of course, because that other machine, by the way, is at our headquarters in White Plains, New York. I'm in Danbury. I'm accessing my cloud from Danbury. So I don't technically see that piece of audio yet. It's saved in my environment, but I can't preview it locally yet. So what I'm going to do here is just click this. I'm just going to download that file and put it wherever I want to put it in there. And so when I click that asset, yep, it's been changed, I know. At that point in time when it's saved, yep, I know. Refresh the page. I'll just close that for right now. So what happens is when I save that audio, I can download it, I can preview it, all of that good stuff. That's in the mix as well. So if I jump back to my actual over here, my machine, I want to show you at that point in time, I'm going to drag this element into the log itself, right? So there's that Lifehouse between the raindrops. And just in case you think I'm lying, there's Lifehouse between the raindrops. I want to show you this all live in real time here. I'm going to go here back to that, let's see, that death cab for QD. I'll just jump back for argument's sake, server-side search, and type Gold Rush. And you'll see there's my other version for my Nate FM. There's my ZC. That, of course, is active for RCS Hot AC. I'll drag this over here. I'm going to put it right above Lifehouse. We have a dry sweeper. We have Gold Rush. Boom, it's in there. Again, I want to show you this done in real time. That's going to pop it in. There's a log event. That's the change I made, the log event. I go back here to my actual Chrome, and we should see right there, Gold Rush ZC Death Cab for Cutie. So just like that, boom, we have the elements in there live in real time. So at this point in time in the whole Zetta Cloud environment, we're essentially talking about disaster recovery, right? So everything is pre-configured, everything is in there. Again, this is a we activity. Site replication is a we activity, except instead of going from left to right, market to market, we're going north up into the cloud. So at that point in time, just so you know, all of your audio and data is saved on a Amazon Web Service S3 bucket. That's allotted to essentially you based on your profile with us through Amazon and all that good stuff. We handle all of that stuff. So really, it's for you. It's very hands-off, easy, efficient, and you know it's done and it's done right. So at that point in time, we have our SQL backups, we have our audio, we have our metadata. Everything's in the cloud waiting for us to go. At that point in time, we have a disaster. Something happens, right? It could be cryptoware, which is a huge problem these days. It could be something like a hurricane or a flood that happened down in Texas. I mean, unfortunately, we're just getting hit on all sides here. So the idea is that by being in the cloud, we have a next level of redundancy that is saved here, right? All of our audio, schedules, metadata, SQL backups, they're all saved in the cloud, right? So if you ever have, again, simple purposes, let's just say that a hard drive crashes or there's a fire in your building. Again, all your audio metadata schedules are saved. So pretend this environment here, gone. For whatever reason, it's gone. I'm going to use the cryptoware analogy here because that's, of course, is a big thing. Arena. Hey, Arena, how's it going? Thanks for checking in. Larry, as well, thank you for checking in. And V, as always, thank you for checking in. Of course, if anybody has any comments here or have any questions regarding this process, comment below. I'm seeing it right here. I can answer your questions for you live and real time. So we had a disaster, cryptoware, boom. What happens during cryptoware? The biggest thing is unplug everything, right? That's the idea. We have to unplug everything because we need to assess the situation and we can't let it escalate further. So instantly unplug all the machines, right? Well, that means you're off the air. Okay, well, that's a problem, right? Especially if we were in the middle of a stop set or whatever it is, we're losing money. At that point in time, Zetta Cloud, remember, it's working in tandem with your local database. If I make a change, again, just to show you what I'm talking about here, I'm going to go in this death cap for Qt. I'm going to change it to a stop chain, right? And if you see over here, there's going to be a log event chain type change. Jump back over here. You'll see there's that stop chain. Every little thing is going to change it here. I'm going to go back and make sure that I just change that before I forget, because I know that is a stop chain. Yep. Where's my Zetta? There we go. And so bring everything back to normal. Jump back to my Zetta Cloud. So at this point in time, we have an issue, right? At this point in time, we're off the air. Grab your phone, right? Your phone. Remember, us.zettacloud.com, Mac, PC, Chrome, Firefox, Edge, whatever your device is that has access to the internet, you can utilize Zetta Cloud. At that point in time, I'm going to jump this module over here just to show you. We have the system monitor. The system monitor is going to show you exactly what players you have, what condition they're currently in. Now, as I said, I'm kind of running my Zetta Cloud almost as essentially an on-air automation system for right now for demo purposes. But you'll see here, there's a redeploy and a takeoff line. To flip over here, I'll show you there's an activate function. See that? So the idea would be is there's an activate and there's a deploy, thus the redeploy and deploy option. Obviously, I'm on the air now, so I'm already deployed. But if I wanted to, when I was off the air, I'd go right here and click this redeploy option, deploy option, and that's going to activate my station, right? And at that point in time, I can essentially go, and once that's activated and deployed, I then have access here to my on-air sequencer. You want to make sure you're lined up because it runs in tandem, but obviously if you, let's say, are in like 20 minutes in the hour or whatever it is, you want to get to wherever you are in the hour. That's really common practice in radio when you're going to a sense of redundancy. Is you're just going to queue up where you want it to be, and then once you queue it up, just fire next, the play next button here, and boom, you're on the air with Train. Now, I'm back here in the home button here. I'll jump back to 10 a.m., or sorry, 11 a.m., where I am in my actual log structure itself. So you can see there's my current element, Train, Hey Soul Sister. I'm on the air. Life is good. At that point in time, I can go back and operate as normal, right? So at this point in time, as a user, I am using Zetta Cloud to run and operate my station. And now we have back to kind of the basics of radio fundamentals. The on-air sequencer here, very similar. You have layouts like you do in Zetta. You have modules like Zetta, and I can control the on-air product. I can play this next, right? I can change the chain type. I can eject. I can add audio in here as well if I wanted to. So, for example, I can just take that Zetta Cloud, drag them in here. That orange line is where it's going to go. I can drag him in there, and boom, he's good to go. I also can go here and essentially add insert event, or I can insert a voice track. So let's just say I'm going to scroll down here a little bit, and I want to go to here, Beyonce. I can hit the little voice track icon here, and that's go with my voice track module, which is a pop-up for right now. I'll make this nice and big for you. And again, you can see there's my voice track, big and small, heads and tails, all that good stuff. I have different modes I can switch to. So again, the play mode, the record mode, that's all in there as well. I can record my voice track as is, and boom, save that. We're good to go. At that point in time, I am really just operating in here. If I needed, a lot of times we get questions is, this will take whatever schedule you have, of course. So just be aware. Let's just say I didn't get to tomorrow's music log, or better yet, I have a couple music logs that I have in the bank, but I know I'm going to be off the air for a long period of time. We have a couple ways of fixing that for you. We have integration with G Selector, so we can send some logs from your G Selector machine. We can always copy and paste entire days. That's in here too. As you can see, there's an option here for essentially copying. Click in here, highlight over there. There's a copy playlist. See that? So I can copy a playlist. So for example, if I'm in a jam and a pickle, I can say copy that playlist from that playlist. So very simply put, if I truly don't have a log for, let's say it's 11:50 at night and you went off the air and you haven't done a log for tomorrow, yes, I'm using the worst case examples. You should never be in this pickle. It's Radio 101. What you want to do there is essentially, well, I can just copy my playlist. And of course, I follow kind of best music scheduling practices. So if it is a Thursday, I'm probably going to grab Tuesdays or Mondays music log, copy it back over, and be good to go back on the air. Again, any kind of voice tracking here, that's done. If we need to add a brand new spot, good news. Just go to your spots tab over here. You'll see that I have the option now to add an element from the very top. I can add my songs, add my spots, drag them into the logs, all of that good stuff. That's here as well. So again, if I want to add a spot, there's my spot there. I just add this here. I can drag and drop audio, or I can click this icon here, and I can find an import option here from a file name and all of that good stuff. You can see here my stations on the left, my metadata right here, some station metadata when it gets active, once I load an asset, start date, end date, and then some marks analysis too. Fade in, intro, early seg, all of that good stuff. That's in here as well. We are operating from Zetta Cloud and Zetta Cloud-based disaster recovery mode, right? And again, in case you're wondering, well, where is this going to? What's happening here? Don't forget, we also have some config settings that we're going to help you predefine as you go into when you first configure your Zetta Cloud-based disaster recovery. Very simply put, we have some metadata right here. We have the actual primary and secondary players, how it's streaming, where it's going to. Now, mine in particular, I have reverse aspect. I'm taking my player and I'm sending this to Revma. It's going to act as an IceCast client, not an IceCast server. Zetta Cloud has its own encoder built into it. What I'm going to do is I'm going to take that encoder and essentially replicate that with Revma to have a multiple destination point. Remember, Revma is our content delivery network, so I can essentially take this one stream, have multiple bit rates, multiple outputs, all of that good stuff, and I can do that through here. Or I keep it very simple. Most transmitter sites these days pretty much have a URL built in for a stream as a redundancy backup player. In that case, I would take my primary player, point my IceCast URL, connect that to my transmitter site with a special, whatever your transmitter hardware is. And then, of course, when I go enable this, it triggers the transmitter site, and boom, we're back on the air like nothing ever happened. Remember, the magic of radio. The listener has no idea that we switched from our local Zetta to our Zetta Cloud. They have no idea. And then, of course, we have, speaking of radio terms, we have what is live, what isn't live. Let's say there is a natural disaster. There was the hurricane that hit down south in Texas. I know I've been following a lot of those guys over on the broadcast group talking about all the work they're doing over there, which is some great stuff. So if you do have to resort to another option like Zetta Cloud, and you have to, let's say, notify your listeners what's going on, what is live? I can voice track after this High With Somebody song, and I can voice track it so it plays in 1 minute and 13 seconds. Is that live? Not technically, but you and I both know, for the listener, that's 100% live. Come on, it's a minute delay. That's not that big of a deal, especially if we're on-site broadcasting live from a disaster, wherever that may be. So just know, if you're a news talk station, all that good stuff, we do have a lot of users that have those workflows implemented right now. So if they ever do go offline, they have the reporters on site. They're on their phone, opening up Zetta Cloud, opening the voice tracker, using their phone, and we're good to go. So at this point in time, again, just to recap here, if you have any questions, if you want to chime in here, let's just see. I'm going to check real quick. Russell, thank you for checking in. Oliver, thank you for checking in as well. Frederick, awesome. Thank you for checking in. You guys have any questions, let me know. I'm here to help. And so essentially the idea, after we're all said and done, the disaster is over. Well, at that point in time, all we do is go back to our Zetta over here, play this out, go back to our Zetta Cloud, go back to our modules, open up the system monitor itself. And then remember beforehand where we had a deploy, right? We're going to do the opposite now and essentially go click on our station that we want, go to the actions here, and essentially take this offline or unemploy this element here, right? That's kind of the concept. At that point in time, Zetta Cloud is going back to essentially that disaster recovery mode, waiting in sync for you to enable it once again as well. Again, some of the benefits here of talking about Zetta Cloud, next level redundancy, right? Because we know hard drives crash. We know there's natural disasters, cryptoware. These are things that's going to cripple your infrastructure. And to know that you have something like Zetta Cloud-based disaster recovery all of your audio metadata schedules and SQL backups are safely secured on Amazon S3 buckets, we know that there's a next level redundancy there. And so let's just say we do get cryptoware, something happens there, right? Well, I know that as an engineer, unplug your machines, like my sound effects, plug back in Zetta cloud-based disaster recovery, deploy it, you're online. At that point in time, it gives your team a proper sense of how to assess the situation. Take a breath. Take a breath and assess the situation, understanding what's going on, who's the culprit, what do I need to do, while maintaining your on-air product and maintaining specifically your commercial traffic load. You're not missing any spots. That is key. And again, this can also be for just maintenance too. If you just want easy maintenance and you're doing server upgrades or whatever it is, and you have whatever current workflow you have right there, you can always just go here, enable the Zetta Cloud, return it back to as it is, and you're good to go too. It's good to test, good to update, maintenance, and all of that good stuff as well there too. So that pretty much is kind of encompasses everything with Zetta Cloud. Just a couple things I know we've talked about in the past from kind of Zetta Cloud, new features. There was a new build that was sent out. Unlike Zetta in your local Zetta itself, just know that in Zetta Cloud, we have a couple different environments, staging environments, development environments. Again, this is all utilizing Amazon Web Services best practices. It's written on the cloud itself. It's not a VM. And so what happens is we'll send a release to kind of implement it, sending it to the actual product every so often. I think right now, for about the past 6 months, it's been maybe like 2 or 3 releases. So maybe every month and a half, 2 months, we've had a couple releases in there. You can see from past videos, if you go to rcsworks.com/rcs-live, there's a link to share for you, V. rcsworks.com/rcs-live. That is going to be our high quality video archive moving forward. All videos are there too. Of course, you can go to our Facebook page, look at the archive, and that's broken down by products as well. And you can see just showing you a couple new features with Zetta Cloud. Our hotkeys were released about 2 months ago. There's a video on that. Again, we now have the modules options. So we can have individual modules open as a pop-up. And we can also design layouts as well. So we can switch from different layouts if we wanted to and save multiple layouts as well. And there's a couple cool things in here. There's some reporting aspect and there's some jobs and other cool stuff in here too. So there's a lot of really, really cool features with Zetta Cloud, both right now and coming down the pipeline as well. Last chance for questions, comments. I'm checking in here. Larry, I said hi to you too. I think we're good on there. I'll give you kind of 10 seconds to get your questions in before I sign off. Don't forget, beta users for both Zetta 5.20.1 or G Selector 4.9.0. There's some really, really cool stuff. I'm getting ready for a Facebook Live probably on September 24th. I think that's the idea, to showcase the brand new clock structure in G Selector. That's going to be so cool. You're want to pay attention to that. I'll send out an event on our Facebook page so you can RSVP. Speaking of RSVPs, don't forget on Tuesday, we have, that's Tuesday, September 8th at 10 a.m. Eastern Time. We have our usual RCS Live questions and answers during a time of remote workflows, except we're going to be in Espanol. That's right. I'll have Juan Arena Acosta is our RCS bilingual support technician who's going to be joining on with me and talking about translating all of the great things with the Zetta Cloud and all of that good stuff. So if you have any friends of yours who want to have the my whole big spiel, but in Spanish, let me know, and you can RSVP to that and all that good stuff. So I don't see any other questions aside from, again, Russell, thank you for checking in. And I'll sign off for right now. I will see you Tuesday for the RCS Live in Espanol, and then the following Thursday, as always, every Thursday, 11 a.m. Eastern Time, right here on our Facebook page. Thanks so much for checking in. Don't forget the past archives at rcsworks.com/rcs-live, and have a fantastic long weekend if you're here in the States. If not, be safe, be smart, wear your masks. We'll get through this together. Thank you so much. Have a great weekend. Bye-bye.